Buying a cheap smartphone no longer means losing out on all of the latest features and performance. We review the 5 best budget phones you can buy right now. 1. Moto G7 Play. You're unlikely to find many more compelling phones than the Moto G7 Play at its rock bottom price. It's well constructed, slim, has zippy internals, the camera is good when you factor in all the shooting modes, and it lasts a full day. The lack of NFC is a bit of a disappointment, but if that doesn't faze you and you're not put off by the clunky looking notch and practical design, go forth and pick one up. You won't regret it. The G7 Play is a solid smartphone that, despite not having high-end internals, can provide a smooth, lag-free mobile experience, even when playing demanding games like PUBG Mobile, and that's impressive. The build quality is great despite the use of plastic on the rear, with fine detailing giving the G7 Play a more premium look. As for the front, the Moto G7 Play's 5.7-inch screen has a hefty border and an even chunkier chin that's loaded up with a Motorola logo. Up top, you can find what could be the most substantial notch we've seen to date, which houses the loudspeaker, front LED light, and the selfie camera. Where the G7 Play stands out is power. It's the only phone in its price range to feature the new Qualcomm 632 processor, as found in the rest of the G7 line. It also sports 32GB storage and micro SD card support up to 512GB. While images are generally well lit, the lack of a decent autofocus system means that most of your pictures will come out looking a little bit soft. Still, if you're not a photographer in the making, the Moto G7 Play is an impressive bit of kit and you'll struggle to find something better at this price point. 2. Huawei P Smart. The Huawei P Smart 2019 is the best cheap phone you can buy right now. It packs a usable camera, plenty of storage, and great battery life, as well as a screen and design that punch way above their weight. Its plastic back and sides form a high-gloss shell that feels like plastic. The screen is LCD tech, which can't compete with OLEDs when it comes to depth and punch, but alongside the Honor 10 Lite, the Huawei P Smart still sports the tiniest bezels and one of the best resolutions for the price. For its price, the P Smart has a generous 64GB, of which about 50GB is available to the user. That's on par with many flagships that cost 3 times its price. As for battery power, there's the 3400 mAh unit inside, the life of which can be optimized via a host of power-saving options. Despite the great-looking design and the decent storage and battery specs, however, the P Smart is ultimately a mid-range phone with mid-range internals. Inside, there's a Kirin 710 chipset coupled with 3GB RAM, respectable but not excellent. 3. OnePlus 6. 12 months ago, this was one of the world's absolute best handsets, with a flagship-grade suite of internal hardware and OnePlus's typical eye for look and feel, making it a truly desirable handset. And guess what? That's still true today. The OnePlus 6's Snapdragon 845 CPU with 8GB of RAM still delivers buttery smooth operation, while its spacious 6.28-inch AMOLED HDR display still looks beautiful too. That all-glass design is simply stunning as well, while the silk white variant of the phone remains to this day one of the most beautiful finishes we've ever seen, while the limited edition OnePlus 6 Red is standout desirable as well. You don't get wireless charging on the OnePlus 6, and its camera system is not as good as, say, the Samsung Galaxy A9s, but when the phone looks this good and runs this well, then those issues pale into insignificance at this price. 4. Samsung Galaxy A9. The start of the show on the Samsung Galaxy A9 is its rear-mounted quadruple camera system, which delivers a 24-megapixel primary sensor with f1.7 aperture, a depth-sensing 5-megapixel camera, an 8-megapixel telephoto sensor for long-range shooting, and finally, a 10-megapixel ultra-wide-angle 120-degree sensor for capturing breathtaking panoramas and tall landmarks. Oh, and that's not forgetting that the A9 also comes with a 24-megapixel front selfie camera as well. That's a 5-sensor camera system on a phone that costs just over $380. Madness. It's not just about the camera though. On the Samsung Galaxy A9 with the handset also coming loaded with a 6.3-inch FHD Plus screen, solid Snapdragon 660 processor, a generous 6GB of RAM, and a well-sized 3800 mAh battery too. A truly fantastic cheap smartphone, now at an incredibly affordable price point. 5. Honor 10 Lite. If you're a frequent Snapchatter or selfie addict, The 24MP front-facing camera on the Honor 10 Lite is the one for you. Honor has done it again with the 10 Lite, one of the best budget smartphones you can buy. For just about $253, it has the best battery life of a phone in its price range, a large screen, and dual cameras. Those cameras fall down in low light, and it's very clearly a plastic phone, but the performance is excellent. It's up there alongside the Moto G range as the best cheap phone about. The Honor 10 Lite punches its way above its weight when it comes to its design. It looks great and makes the water drop notch design, as seen on the OnePlus 6T, more affordable than ever. It also has a premium look and feel. Despite featuring a plastic back and sides, it feels richer than the pricier Samsung Galaxy A7, and looks better too. While it can't compete with the A7's OLED screen in terms of quality, the Honor 10 Lite's smaller bezels make it a more striking package. The phone has plenty of storage too. Most phones in this price range feature just 32GB of storage, but the 10 Lite gives users a generous 64GB, of which about 50GB is available to the user. This is a mid-range phone with mid-range power, courtesy of a Kirin 710 processor paired with 3GB of RAM. The upshot is less power-hungry internals that put less pressure on the sizable 3400 mAh battery.